if you're not able to sell your stuff, you're not going to be able to sustain the life that you want to live. But similarly, if you are able to sell your stuff and you also destroy your soul in the process, you're not going to be able to live the life that you want to live. Now, for the longest time, sales completely perplexed me. I did not understand it. I did not like what I was seeing out there in the landscape. It was all a bit janky to me. And honestly, for the early kind of days in my career, I've been in this space for about 10 years, I was constantly just working with clients that were underpaying me, overworking me, and just a bit of a pain in the bum, to be honest with you. So what I went about doing was kind of scrapping all of that stuff, because it just didn't work for me, and also it just felt awful. Like, I wanted to just be myself, and I wanted to express myself, and I wanted to attract people to my business, and I wanted to be paid, like, a lot. And through this trial and error, I came across what I call an anti-sales philosophy. And this is super powerful because it allows you to attract people. You don't have to push anything on anybody, and they're actually excited to just give you money. So it's very low friction to get clients in the door this way. And I've been doing about 20K a month, give or take, depending. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, depending on what's happening that month. But it's just a pretty fun process. And this video is video number 4 of the mini series that I've been showcasing, which is how to turn strangers into clients. And in this video, we're covering the final link, which is how to turn leads into clients, which is effectively how you get paid. So step on inside, and I'm going to show you exactly how you turn leads into clients, the non-salesy way. So I probably shouldn't say this in a video where I'm talking about sales, but I didn't actually know what a sales call was up until about 1.5 years ago. In fact, the first ever sales call I was on was as a prospect about 5 years ago. And the guy really tricked me. I'm going to explain how he did that and why you should not do that. And I'm going to provide another way to do it, which is way easier to actually make sales, and it also just feels better because it's not scammy. Before we dive in, I've got some big news, because it is finally time. The Creator Society is going live. And this is something I'm really proud of how it's turned out, and it's the most complete mentorship solution for coaches, creators, and consultants that I've ever come up with. And because I'm so stoked about it, I want to give a really cool intro opportunity for the founding members. So if you want one of the 30 founding spots, I'm going to give you a lifetime discount to the Creator Society, but I'm also going to give you a free one-on-one consulting call with me, which goes for €750 usually. And maybe I'll regret that because I'm going to have a very busy week of calls ahead, but that's my problem. And I hope that you can get some value out of it. So I announced this to the waitlist earlier today, so some of those spots have filled up already, but the page will be below, so you can click on that and you can get all the info and you can join. The launch will close on Sunday, the 19th, so you have until then or until the spots fill, whichever happens first. And it's going to be capped at 30 people. So once you're inside, you're going to have access to me, more tools and support than you could ever possibly need. And it's going to be a really fantastic time. So check that out below. And then let's get on to anti-sales. So the 5 things we're going to talk about here are, first of all, what the flip is anti-sales? Then we're going to talk about offer cycling. Then we're going to talk about opportunity creation, which is probably the most important piece here, that I see most people making an error in this area, and it totally just tanks your sales. We're talking about anti-sales calls, and we're going to talk about Google Doc and DM selling, which is a way that you can sell without doing calls, which is pretty cool. So first of all, WTF, what is anti-sales? Well, what it comes down to is a mindset shift. And when you make this shift, it's just so powerful, because you feel better about selling and people are actually excited to buy from you. And it's a whole energetic thing, right? So what I want you to realize is you are not selling. You're providing an opportunity. I'll say that again. You're not selling. You're providing an opportunity. You see, when we think of selling, there's all this stigma because we feel like we're pushing something onto somebody. But actually, when we look at anti-sales, you're not pushing anything onto anybody. You're providing an opportunity to somebody, and they're coming to meet you at that opportunity. And they will pay you to avail of that opportunity. Now, a lot of people feel like they're selling because they don't acknowledge the opportunity. They don't see the value in what they have to offer. And that comes down to an internal shift, right? Because if you genuinely believed in the value that you have to give, you would be very confident to sell what you have. But if you don't feel confident selling, it's because you're not aware that what you have is actually going to really positively impact somebody's life. Because if you knew, without a shadow of a doubt, it was going to positively impact them, it would be a no-brainer. You would be so excited to hop and have conversations with people and present that opportunity. And for the right person that's looking for that opportunity, they're not going to feel sold to, they're going to feel excited that they can invest in themselves by paying you. So that's the first thing you need to realize. You're not selling, you're providing an opportunity. And to give it an example of how not to do this, so I was on a sales call, the first ever sales call I ever had, about 5 years ago. I saw an ad that said this person was looking for yoga teachers that wanted more clients. I was a yoga teacher, I wanted more clients. And so I was like, great, this guy must have too many clients and he wants to give me some. So I responded to the ad and then he wanted to have a call. So I was like, okay, cool. Tell me about your yoga students. And I'm not even joking. This dude had like a questionnaire. It must have been like 20 questions about this, that, and the other, how long my business was around, what I'm trying to make this year, blah, 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 blah. And I was just thinking to myself, what does this have to do with yoga students? Just give me the students. And in the end, it turned out he was trying to sell me Facebook ad management. So that's how you don't sell, right? Because he tricked me. Just call a spade, he tricked me. And he wasted an hour of my time. And if I knew it was about Facebook ad management, I wouldn't have talked to him because I already knew how to do it. So that guy was too focused on selling and he wasn't focused on providing the opportunity. So you have to be aware of the opportunity and you have to own the opportunity, because if you're not owning the opportunity that you have and you don't see the value in it, you're going to be all snaky and you're going to do some copywriting that is not representative of what you actually have to offer. Or you're just not going to effectively communicate what you have to offer. So this works two ways. You can be sleazy and deceptive, or you can just be totally underplaying yourself. I imagine a lot of you people watching this video, because you're pretty cool, you're underplaying and underselling yourself. You're not acknowledging the value that you have. You're not acknowledging that it's totally possible someone will pay you hundreds, if not thousands of euros for your help. Now, offer cycling. This is more of a fun little game that you can play, right? So as a creator, as a coach, as a consultant, whatever you are, a healer perhaps, you have a skill set. And the offer is the way that you package that up and the way that you deliver it, okay? So offer cycling refers to bringing variety into the way that you do that. So some people make the mistake of just having one offer that is always the same. Like it's one-on-one coaching. Like there's nothing more to it. It's just one-on-one coaching. And the problem with that is it's a little bit dull after a period of time because there's no excitement around it. There's no experience around it. Whereas if you were to do something like hosting like a 6-week container, that already sounds a lot more interesting. Now, a lot of the tools and the things that you'll be sharing in that 6-week container are probably similar to what you would normally share in a one-on-one coaching, but it's just a different format, it's a different environment. It's almost like you're going on holiday and things are just more interesting. Now, I was speaking with a fellow about 10 days ago. We were having a chat in my community, and I'm sure he won't mind me saying this, but he was having trouble booking calls and making sales. And I asked, well, what are you doing? Like, how are you trying to book calls? And he had a work with me link, just a simple book a discovery call to work with me. And there's nothing like inherently bad about that, but that's what he had been running for a long time. So I said, well, why don't you just package up your knowledge? Like, you're a fantastic coach. Package it up into an experience with a more specific outcome, maybe for a certain type of person, and, you know, do it for 6 weeks with a group and see what happens. And within 24 hours, he'd booked 4 sales calls, and then within a few days, he had made a sale, just by shifting the offer, cycling the offer. And it's just fun to do this because it's more engaging for you, because you get to create these different experiences. But you also get to, you know, position things differently and speak about your work in a different way. And like, some people don't want to do one-on-one. Some people want to do a group. Some people want to do one-off. Some people want to do a 3-month process. So by cycling your offers, you're speaking to more needs of different people, because not everyone in your audience is the same. Now, offer cycling is vital, but without opportunity creation, you're going to have a problem selling that offer still. So let's talk about that. So again, with the example I just mentioned there of this lovely coach that I was speaking with, now we had the idea for a 6-week coaching program, but you got to announce the opportunity. And simply having a book a discovery call, it's not an effective way to announce the opportunity. So how do we do that instead, in a way that actually gets people booking calls or buying your stuff? Well, there's 3 ways that I do this: through school, my community, through my mailing list, and through YouTube. So when I have an opportunity for people to engage with, what I will do is I will make an announcement in one of these channels, or all of these channels, and I will say, I'm looking for a small group of people, or I'm looking for 5 people, or whatever number of people you feel like you can reasonably work with. Like, what would your dream number of people be to work with? And just announce that. So have that as your subject line. I'm looking for a small group of people. Then talk a little bit about what is the opportunity? Like, what are the benefits of engaging with this opportunity? So I'm looking for 5 men that want to be more confident so that they can talk to girls. Or I'm looking for 10 people that want to learn how to make Instagram reels in 10 minutes a day. That is speaking to a specific person. It's showing what the opportunity is. And that's just so much more impactful than book a discovery call with me, because I don't see what the opportunity is there. And we need to be tapping into the emotion and like the desired outcomes that our prospective clients have, because that's what they're scanning for. They're not scanning for book a discovery call. They're scanning for, all right, I'm trying to get better at making Instagram reels. I don't have the tools or the knowledge to do that, and I would like a mentor. Okay, so this person has just announced a 6-week container where we're going to be making reels every single week. That's a pretty cool opportunity. So announce that wherever you announce things, right? School, mailing list. School, it's great. You can pin the comment on your community if you've got a community. And then anyone in the community can see that and they can book a call. Mail, similar thing. You just send an email. YouTube, you can put a call to action in a video and then a link to book a call or to a landing page. But you have to have the messaging down when you're presenting these opportunities, because otherwise it'll fall flat. And people won't even realize that it is the solution they're looking for, because you haven't effectively communicated the opportunity. So remember, you're not selling, you're providing an opportunity. What is the opportunity? Present the opportunity and just watch your calendar fill up with people. So an important piece here on the opportunity creation as well. So I mentioned to announce like a small group, right? And it's going to depend on what your offer is. But like, let's say it's one-on-one coaching or intimate group coaching. Like, there is a point where the quality of your service is going to diminish the more people are in there. So you want to find a sweet spot between having enough people that your business is thriving, but also not too many people that you're not able to service them. Because if you're not servicing them well, your business is going to fail long term. So the idea of mentioning a number of people, it brings in scarcity, yes, but the scarcity, it's a literal thing. Like, you couldn't take on 100 one-on-one coaching clients, probably. So what's the number you could bring on? Say that number. And then in someone's mind, that's like, okay, well, there's 5 people, so I could be one of the 5. And that just brings a sense of urgency. The other thing you need is a time. Because, let me tell you, all right, the reason people don't like putting times is because they're afraid that if the timer hits 0, and I don't mean a literal timer, but like, let's say you have a launch plan for the 24th of December. The chances are, on the 20th of December, you won't have that many sales. But I can promise you from experience, in the next 4 days, if you have a deadline set, people are going to start joining because people just wait till the last minute. If there is no last minute, as in if your offer is always open, then people are not going to take it seriously as they would if it was closing at a certain date. And it's also good for you because then you can just close sales, have a small sales window where you do your calls or whatever, and then cut off sales and just focus on delivery. Because if you're always selling, you're going to make less sales and your calendar is going to be so scattered. So there's not really a benefit to being always open, especially if you're organically marketing. If you're doing cold traffic, which we don't talk about here, not because I have anything against it, I just don't do it, then it's different. But for organic, pick a time, stick to it, and embrace the possibility that no one's going to join. And if no one joins, no one joins. It doesn't matter. And if only one person joins your group, just tell them, hey, do you want to just do it one-on-one? I'm sure they'd be quite happy to do it one-on-one. But when you're presenting your opportunities, you need to have a sense of how many people are going to be there. Is it going to be a group? Is it going to be one-to-one? And also when it's closing. Because without that deadline, we just don't make decisions. So think about it. Like the stuff that you don't really have to do, you just kick it down the road. The stuff that you have to do, like if you have to submit something by a certain day, you're going to get it done, right? And when it comes to us humans and joining programs or whatever, we just wait till the last minute because it's scary. And that's normal. Change is scary. But you need to have your opportunity clearly laid out so that the people that are excited for it are going to get up off the couch and dive into it head first. All right, now let's talk about anti-sales calls. Traditionally, sales calls, like people have like a bad perception of them because they're doing sales calls. They're doing whatever it takes to get people on the call. They're being deceptive, and that's not nice because then you end up on the call, the person on the other end doesn't even want to be there because they didn't sign up for a sales call. So with a sales call, the way I like to do this, first of all, it's not a free coaching call. It is a qualification call to work with me. So it's clear, this isn't a consultation. This is to see if I can help you and if you want to be helped. To see if you want to avail of the opportunity that I have. So that's very clearly laid out. There's questions as well. And the reason you want to have questions is because if there's no questions, you're going to get a lot of tire kickers. Because usually when these people see loads of questions, they just click off the page. But serious people will happily answer the questions because they respect your time and they respect themselves. And they're actually serious about making a decision. And this does increase friction, which means you're probably going to book less calls. But I would rather have less calls with the right fit than more calls with people that have no interest in buying. So that's the first piece of anti-sales calls is qualification. Now, the next piece is, again, remember, you're not selling, you're providing an opportunity. So I like to just set the intention at the beginning of a call and say, hey, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to ask you some questions and find out if there's a way I can help you. And if there is, I'll show you how I can help you. Now, the reason you say that is because the truth is you don't know if the person booking the call is actually going to be a good fit. So you have to find out. That's the purpose of a discovery call. If you're just trying to sell to everyone that hops on a call, you're going to end up selling instead of providing opportunities. Because if you're trying to sell someone something that they don't actually need or wouldn't benefit them, that's not cool. And it's going to be a nightmare to work with them because the fit's not there for whatever reason. So that's the second thing is framing the call. And then you just ask questions and you find out, well, what's the problem? Why are you here? What do you want help with? And just ask questions. And ideally, they will tell you what their problem is. And they will tell you why they want to work with you and what they think you can give them. If you feel like you can give them that, then just make them a little presentation document of your offer, what that looks like, where you can just talk out loud and say, here's what we do. Based on what you said, I think this would be a great fit for you. Show them what it is. They'll probably have some questions. Answer the questions. And then it's just a matter of making a decision. So a lot of the time, a sales call will end in, I need to think about it. So I'm going to share how I deal with that. But I suppose it's important to realize what does that actually mean. And what I've kind of noticed it to mean is, in most cases, the person doesn't feel confident for one reason or another. Maybe it's they don't feel confident in themselves to do it. Maybe they don't feel confident in you. Now, my style is I don't offer a guarantee. I don't promise the moon or anything like that. And so I'm very clear about that. So I make sure that people have their expectations managed. If someone ever asks me, like, if they're going to make their money back, to me that's just a red flag, because I can't guarantee that. I'm not a liar, and it wouldn't be fair for me to do that. I'm there to show up and to share my knowledge, but at the end of the day, you're the one that has to do the work. You're the one that has to implement things, and you're the one that has to believe in yourself, because I can't do it for you. So when you do this, again, you're not trying to sell. Like, if you need to sell hard, I can guarantee you it's probably a bad fit. I know I don't make guarantees, but there's one for you. So yeah, it's not about selling, it's about aligning. So if the person is aligned, this should be a very seamless conversation where you just ask them questions, find out where they're at, and then present the offer, if it makes sense. And then once they agree that they actually do want to do it, that they're ready to do it, you can tell them the price. I'd leave that to the end, because it's not really relevant to talk about it before. Because why would you need to know the price if you don't even know if it's a useful solution? It's just not really relevant. And also, when people are thinking with the price, they're sometimes more interested in the price than they are in the transformation. And if price is prioritized over the transformation, it just means it's not a good fit for now. Like, it's not bad, it's not a good fit. Like, the best clients I've ever had, they were really just interested in learning about the process, they were interested in their goals, and the price, assuming that they could afford the price, was the very last thing to be covered. It's just like, oh yeah, and the price is this. Okay, cool. And then you make the payment. Now, when people say, I want to think about it, they're lacking confidence somewhere. And that's fine. And usually, if someone isn't ready to go right there and then, it's not the right time. And that's okay. And you can just end the call and go your separate ways. And then maybe they'll come back around, which happens. But the whole pushy thing, it's like, if you need to kind of strong arm somebody into making a decision, that's not their decision. That's fear speaking. We want people to be making decisions from a place of excitement and love for their future self that they're stepping into. So that's anti-sales. Now, Google, Doc, and DM selling. So this is fun. Basically, it's the same kind of process as the anti-sales call, except you just do this like via a text-based format. So it could be via email, or it could be via DM or whatever. So the cool thing about this is, if you're following the strangers to clients blueprint, by the time someone's actually chatting to you, they're very warmed up to you, which means they don't really need to be sold. And that's the whole point of my philosophy, is that we're trying to pre-sell people just through the free value that we give. And when you do that, it means you can literally just have a quick DM chat and say, hey, yeah, here's the details. Do you have any questions? blah, blah, blah. And if it seems like a right fit, you just send them a Stripe link and they'll join. And again, you want to be focused on like the discovery, like finding out what's your problem, where are you trying to go, what have you tried before, assess, do you think your offer is going to help them, and then present the offer with a document or with some written text or whatever. It doesn't have to be super fancy. And that's how you do selling that way. Now, it's harder to do that because usually this works well for people that are like already established business owners who've like invested in lots of stuff before, because they already know the value of investing in themselves, and they're more reckless, I suppose, when it comes to spending money. So that can work really well with people that have already worked with coaches and stuff and gotten a lot of results. They'll happily just pay without doing all of the sales call rigmarole. So really cool little thing, but yeah, you do need to be ensuring that you're building trust the whole way from bringing them from being a stranger to a client. So that's anti-sales, and honestly, since like learning all of this stuff and practicing this, sales has never been easier. It kind of just happens, and it's just fantastic because the working relationships with people is just so much better because everyone's on the same page. Everybody wants to be there. We've all chosen to be there. Nobody's tricked anybody, and there's a lot of integrity in the relationship that's been built. So that's it for this one. That's the end of this series. The Creator Society, remember, that's launching now, so you can click the link below to book in one of those final founder spots and get that free one-on-one consultation with me. Now, if you've enjoyed this series, why don't you check out this series here, because it's also a banger.